I am joining my fantasy football league on ESPN as I do every single year.
Nice.
I finish in last place usually out of 10 teams in my league.
See, I know why.
Yes.
Because you draft all New York Giants.
I do. In fact, I just drafted David Wilson. I believe he just retired at the age of 23.
He's aiming for the Olympics now.
Because of possible paralysis. Did he say that?
Yeah, he's trying out for the Olympics now. That's his next move, he says.
That's awesome. So you would steer clear of Peyton Manning on fantasy, or are you going for Peyton because regular season, it's all about the numbers?
I mean, look, in fantasy football, who cares about wins or losses? You want a team down so they could, in your quarterback, to just throw it up.
Okay. All right. Let's wait for a second on the fantasy football because I do want to say that Brian Hoyer, the first snap of the game, there's a sort of a weird exchange between the center and himself, the quarterback of the Browns, and Gruden goes, "Well, that's about the worst way I've seen a team start a preseason game in about 10 years." And then in their very next play, Hoyer gets sacked.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This is UGLY."
That doggone
Sanzenbacher. Gruden is off the charts. Do you think it's just a Johnny Manziel thing? He is a part of maybe an NFL-wide conspiracy to get Manziel in there?
Of course he is. It's the same thing that happened with Tebow, where there was a mandate to mention Tebow as much as possible. Giant football's getting the same exact treatment.
So this poor Brian Hoyer, it's not his fault. He literally... There was no one blocking for him in the first 2 possessions of the game. No one. He was destroyed. He was killed by these guys.
They want football in, as in Johnny.
Would you start Johnny right away? Because the Browns came out today and said, we're going with Hoyer, and Manziel's going to start the season off the bench as Hoyer's backup. Would you start Johnny Manziel today?
Initially, I thought, yeah. And I thought he was going to win. He was going to take it. He was going to be the starter.
Yeah.
But after throwing up the middle finger and...
I love him even more, is what I was going to say. Go against the system, Johnny. This is why I want Johnny Cleveland. And yes, I'm changing his name from Johnny Football to Johnny Cleveland. I want him starting game 1. This is a poor decision by the Browns.
Who do you give the finger to?
To the
Redskins bench.
The opposition, the Redskins bench.
Oh,
they were talking smack to him, and he put up the finger.
I believe what really pissed them off. They said this isn't college. This
isn't Texas A&M, yo. I mean, he played in the SEC for Christ's sakes. It's a hard goddamn conference.
Yeah, but it's not the NFL.
Well, it isn't the NFL. But guess what, douchebags? All of you players played in college too at one point, and you were all rookies. So come on. Let's relax with Johnny Football.
Well, even if Johnny Football did start, or whatever, Hoyer, there's no one to throw to on the Cleveland Browns. I mean, no,
Gordon.
Josh Gordon, he's playing in the preseason games because they're taking months to actually lay down how many games he's going to be suspended.
He was suspended for drugs?
Marijuana. He
Marijuana.
tested positive. It was apparently, from what I read, when they drug tested in the NFL, they'll have 2 urine samples.
Roy Schaaf does not like pot. No, he gave Johnny Manziel, he gave Gordon a difficult stinger.
1 urine sample actually came up clean. The other urine sample came up slightly positive for marijuana. So
sounds like Davey Mack urine, dog.
So they're throwing out.
Get your stuff straight.
They're throwing out there that it was secondhand marijuana smoke and that
That's exactly what I said to my probation officer.
So on Roto World,
this guy's just like me.
They get fantasy updates. They said this is from Roto World. They're either going to be 0-game suspension or 16-game suspension.
Wow.
You're either not getting suspended at all
or
for the
season.
season.
Yeah.
Regardless, draft Josh Gordon.
No,
draft
whoa, dog.
He's going to go late. He's going to go in late rounds. Just take him, pick him up, keep him on your bench. If he's suspended for the entire season, dump him. If he's there, then you have a number 1 wide receiver. He was behind Megatron last year.
Picks are picks in fantasy football.
Yeah,
you don't get a lot of them. You think you have more than you do. As a person who's finished in last place several years in a row, I always feel like I've got my team, and yet I always have a thin bench. You're saying I waste or perhaps get lucky with a pick on Josh Gordon. Is that what Chris Pepper, fantasy master football, Stanley is saying
They call
right now?
certain picks lottery picks when you're just taking a long shot on a guy. This is the ultimate lottery pick. I mean, literally, you could have a number 1 player in the 10th round because who's going to go after Jordan? I would go after Josh Gordon immediately.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? If you're drafting before it comes down.
Give me now. Here's my sleeper every year, and you're right. It's Eli Manning. I'm not gonna pause for drama. We did a song about him years ago, and I feel like I owe it to him as a representative of the Davey Mack Sports Program. You know, the Forget Tom Brady song on YouTube. So I still have Eli usually as my starter, and he's always horrific.
How old is Dabney Coleman now?
Dabney Coleman, 82.
Okay.
82.
Take out. All right, let's talk about the Giants. Take out wins or losses of the actual team.
Yeah.
Do you think any position player on that team, has any chance of putting up any real numbers? Like even Victor Cruz.
Not an offensive player. I mean, you mentioned Victor Cruz.
He hasn't had one catch. Eli doesn't know what he's doing out there.
No, I said it before, and I'll say it again. You literally are taking the one by putting Eli in the West Coast offense, which is an offense that is designed for quick, short passes, slants, ins and outs, sidelines, this and that, little handoffs here and there. Okay? That's not how he plays. He is a guy, he is best throwing 35 yards or over. Look at the 2 Super Bowls with the throws to Tyree and Manningham.
That's because he's played in the same system his entire career.
But it's also but it also shows you Eli is a gunslinger, and he's more of a guy who is a big time threat than he's not accurate 12 yards down the field. He's more accurate 40 yards than 12 yards. I don't know how that's possible, but if you've watched Giants football, you would know it to be true. So this West Coast offense has got me frightened as hell.
It's freaked. I think it should have every Giants fan freaked out because Victor Cruz is a guy that's going to catch a deep ball.
Yeah, and this is a weak division. The Giants could win. You know, anyone can win 9-7. I don't think the Giants are getting there this year. I really don't. I think you'll see a 7-9, a 6-10, and Coughlin will finally be out. So you're telling me, what? Same guys every year? Larry Fitzgerald, Megatron. These are the same guys.
Not Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is miserable.
Done? He's done, man.
People are higher on the other wide receiver on the Cardinals, Michael Floyd, because every corner is going to be on Larry Fitzgerald like it's been for the last few years, and Michael Floyd's going to eat up anything from the Arizona quarterback.
Well, Pepe, who is the quarterback that people should go with if they have a number 1 pick? Peyton, Rodgers, Brady?
First of all, if you have number 1 pick, you're going either LaShawn McCoy or
No. Oh, you're not going
running back.
I'm saying a number 1 quarterback pick.
Oh, number 1 quarterback? It's between Breeze and Peyton Manning. Easily.
Breeze and Peyton Manning. No Aaron Rodgers.
No, I mean, Aaron Rodgers would be 3rd.
Don't you think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a bounce-back year this year? That's the one reason why. See, what I usually find watching a ton of football is you lose a Super Bowl, you have the Super Bowl loss hangover. Hell, you win a Super Bowl a lot of times, you're not as good as the year before. Payne's, to me, going to have that this year. He had a record-breaking season. He has to come down.
He literally had the best
Rodgers will come up.
quarterbacks ever had.
He's had the best statistical season last year.
Ever.
Ever. And the best fantasy football season ever. So the point is, he has to come down. I think Rodgers bounces back up. I would take Rodgers over Peyton. I know. Yeah, Roy.
Can't say hi forever, baby.
What?
I don't know what.
You're talking crazy.
I think he just said something in German.
The one thing I'm worried.
You can't stay high forever, baby.
The one thing I'm worried about with Rodgers is now he has Eddie Lacy, who is like a top 5 pick, and they now have a strong run game in Green Bay.
Yeah.
So he can hand off, it's a legitimate running back. And he's the only running back on that team.
What defense would you choose if you had to go with the defense right now for fantasy football?
Look, it's the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are
still the Seahawks?
Dominate. Yes. And if you're in a league that gives major points for defenses, you got to pick up the Seahawks.
Now, we just crapped all over Johnny Manziel and the Cleveland Browns. The one thing that I noticed about that defense was, whoa.
Yes.
I mean, they made RG3 look like a child out there.
It's scary.
And that guy has to learn to slide.
Cleveland Browns defense is going to be around in drafts. So pick it, if you have a later draft and you're waiting to the end to take a defense, which you should do, pick up the Browns. Their secondary is ridiculous.
You never waste an early pick on a defense unless
insane.
you really don't know what you're doing, or you're playing by Davey Mack rules,
or you're blind
and you
drunk.
want to finish in last.
I'll take the Giants defense.
That's playing by Davey Mack rules. Giants, blind drunk. All of it.